Welcome to Good Morning Uganda with me, Olive Monica Najuma, and Jerome Paul Sonko plus Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono. Now today is a beautiful day. I would rather think that, but it isn't such a beautiful morning for the three protesters that tried to storm Parliament yesterday half naked, and now they are remanded to Luzira prison. Now, three ladies protesting against corruption and also the incident that took place in Chitezi landfill were storming Parliament, or attempted to storm Parliament half naked with placards that had some rather not very conducive words that I can't repeat here, but they were protesting against corruption. Those security agencies had them arrested, and they were taken to court and now remanded to Luzira prison. But that being said, we have also had a high spate of accidents in the country, and now the Traffic Directorate is devising means of ensuring that they accredit drivers so as to curb the accidents in the country. It is reported that over 98 fatalities have been registered in only 7 days, and 336 people have been injured. That is quite a number. So I'm happy that the Traffic Directorate, together with the Ministry of Works and Transport, are trying to do something to ensure that we curb the rate of accidents, fatalities on Uganda's roads. Well, good morning again. Welcome to Good Morning Uganda. Now, right next to me is Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono. Now, Robert, yesterday we had a conversation regarding the accidents happening on our roads. So does it make you a bit more comfortable that those in charge, those that are concerned with our road network and also safety, are doing something about it?
Well, I must say there have been so many initiatives that are meant to ensure they reduce the road carnage. But one of the things that has drained them has always been corruption and conflict of interest. I'm yet to see. Because in Uganda, how funny it is you'll find a business, as small as it may be, but you never know who is at the back seat of it. So sometimes we end up having conflict of interest. Then on the other hand, we meet corruption.
Yes.
Because these are two. If someone owns a fleet of buses and you're coming up with an initiative aimed at maybe taming something and reduces on their profit, it may not see the light of day, or they may be selective implementation of that. So those are usually the challenges we find in Uganda. But did you go to Chinatown?
I was supposed to go, and actually my son was convincing me to go yesterday, being a Monday, but I didn't have the time. And now, turns out, it has been temporarily closed, or at least yesterday.
And what is this? I want to understand. Sonko is the economist here. Now, the high turn-up of people, does it express poverty levels or people having capacity to purchase? How best do you explain this? Because the numbers I saw, I wasn't there, but I drove past. The numbers I saw when I was looking on the various social media platforms, how it was a risk to people's lives, because stampede was going to happen and we were going to lose lives. And there
would have been suffocation and stuff like that.
Yes, and I asked myself, these are not coming for free goods. They well know they are going to pay.
Yes.
However, this could be very cheap or slightly cheaper than the market price. But does this reflect that people don't have money? There is poverty and money is scarce, or it reflects that you're only poor alone if you don't have money at that particular time?
I would let Sonko, the businessman on the team, to explain that. Hello, Jerome Paul. How are you this morning?
I'm doing fantastic. I am doing okay.
Have you been to Chinatown?
No, I was there on Sunday. I was there just to pass by and try to do some window shopping.
And read the situation.
And
make plans for what you'll buy later.
Yeah, exactly. But by the look of things, it's giving Black Friday vibes, in my observation, because many of the Ugandans, I think, my observation is that many Ugandans kind of think this is going to be a temporary stay of the Chinatown. That is why many are rushing.
To answer Robert's question, Is it an exhibition of poverty levels of Ugandans who want to get what they can get cheaply as fast as they can, or it is their capacity, or it is an exhibition of their capacity to purchase? What would it be?
It's not only that, there is also an element of excitement. And it's something that many Ugandans have completely failed to handle. Because there is no way, the reason as to why it was closed yesterday at 6 is because there were too many customers on the inside. To the fact that even the attendants themselves could not manage to deal with some. And you know, if at all a supermarket or a hypermarket or even a store is having so many people outnumbering those who are supposed to be clearing the things they are taking, it becomes a scary experience. So they had to close. Now when it comes to the exhibition of whether it's people are broke, I wouldn't want to use that word. I think it's an exhibition that Ugandans are completely tired of being fleeced off their money. Because when you interact with some of the Ugandans who are flooding the area, they will tell you, we have been getting the same goods at quite a higher price. And yet here, they are giving it to us at a friendlier price. And surprisingly, there are some traders who are also there doing their wholesale duties from that side, so that they go to the suburbs and sell at a higher price. Meaning it's giving everyone the chance to afford something and get it and either start up a business or at least buy so much that you can easily afford at the expense of the little pay that many of the Ugandans are subjected to in their places of work.
Well, I like your submission, Sonko, and I think you can't be far from the truth, because the argument I've seen by many Ugandans that have flocked to the area is that they have been purchasing the same products at a very high price compared to the price Chinatown is offering them at. Now, I would like to encourage Ugandans that Chinatown is here to stay. So calm down. Rest your horses. When the situation is under control, you can go back. And Chinese are known for having everything. You can even ask them, do you know Jesus? And he's like, I don't know Jesus, but if you tell me what you want, I'll make you Jesus.
But also these prices are very amazing. A friend of mine was showing me some kind of sofa, not really, some seats, but on market they are 400. And he told me I'd bought them 180,000, and I was like, but is this real?
Now, is there a reason why Sonko should not set himself up to get married, in your opinion?
No, he still needs to grow up. You know, marriage is an all-advanced journey.
Robert has never agreed with me on that. Anyway, I'll let Sonko off the hook and we will get into the local news.
And we'll begin with Forum for Democratic Change. That is the FDC Najjana Nkumbi fraction has distanced itself from the amending the private members bill titled the Administration of Parliament Act 2024 that seeks to elect the leader of opposition in Parliament. Now, this was during a weekly press conference held at Najjana Nkumbi, their headquarters in Kampala. During the regional sitting that was held in Gulu last week, Mityana South Member of Parliament Richard Lumu asked for leave of Parliament to table the amendment of Parliament Administration Bill that seeks opposition to elect the leader of opposition. However, during the weekly press briefing at Najjana Nkumbi, the party rejected this move, saying it undermines the democratic principles. At Katonga, opposition members of Parliament have been called upon to put their house in order to be able to resist the manipulative politics that is ensuring in the August House. The appeal, the president for Katonga fraction, Elias Lukwago, made it while addressing the media on the motion moved by Mityana South Member of Parliament Richard Lumu on opposition members of Parliament electing the opposition leader in Parliament. And moving on, matters of security. Uganda Police Force has called for the public to be vigilant as security scrutinizes on responding to the current terror threats. While addressing the media, the police spokesperson Rushoke Kituma urged the public to stay calm and report any suspicious person and activity to security agencies. The United Nations Organization and the U.S. Embassy raised terror threats in Uganda and released a security advisory to their citizens living in those intending to come to Uganda. Uganda security responded swiftly on the alert. The public is urged to stay calm while highlighting their vigilance and conscious of their environment. People are called upon to collaborate with security by reporting any suspicious individuals and activities to any nearby security agency. Meanwhile, in a security joint operation, 63 suspects were arrested for illegally possessing and consuming of opium. These are accused of being notorious in criminals and members of criminal gangs in areas of Mbaranso zone in Chaliwajela and other parts of Namugongo. In Kasese district, police arrested Kusemerera Ronald for selling stolen motorcycles. It's alleged that Kusemerera, a mechanic, had made it a habit of dealing in stolen motorcycles and spare parts. And looking at matters of traffic, the Directorate of Traffic and Road Safety with the Ministry of Works and Transport are embarking on accreditation of drivers of buses to curb the merging spate of accidents. This comes after the registration of 98 fatalities in 7 days and 363 victims of road accidents, all attributed to reckless driving by drivers, especially bus drivers. The notable accidents that claimed 8 lives in the last week is that of Kabale Bugonzi along Kampala-Masaka Highway. Police attribute the accident to reckless overtaking by the Jaguar bus driver. Another accident that involved a bus belonging to Poko claimed 10 lives along Fopotro Highway. The total number of fatalities in the traffic report of last week is at 98 and 336 injuries. Among the fatalities, 34 motorcycles and cyclists, 24 passengers in vehicles, 20 pedestrians, 13 passengers on motorcycles, 3 drivers and 2 cyclists. The Directorate intends to embark on accreditation of bus drivers to curb irresponsible driving. Passengers are urged to use and also be conscious while moving in vehicles driven by irresponsible people. Traffic police wants passengers to utilize security toll-free numbers to alert police in case of bad driving for highway officers to intervene. And finally, on the local scene, Parliament counter-terrorism police was stormed in a surprise raid by naked female anti-corruption protesters. The protesters included 2 who were completely naked in their inner wear, while others were half-dressed in shorts with their breasts barely covered. All were protesting against the unnecessary expenditure of Parliament in a wake of economic hardships. However, the police was quick at containing the situation before the naked female protesters could find their way into the parliamentary premises. The protesters who were naked took the Parliamentary Counter-Terrorism Police Unit in a surprise running battle. The protesters included 2 who were totally naked, only in their inner wear, and 1 without a blouse with her breasts out, painted in colors of the Uganda flag. The protesters held placards bearing writings that condemned the corruption and demanded for a resignation of the Speaker of Parliament and other 4 backbencher commissioners. Thanks to the Parliamentary counter-terrorism police unit that managed to battle with the naked female anti-corruption protesters before they could find their way beyond security barricades at the parliamentary entrance. The protesters were then quickly driven to the central police station for safe custody, where charges of public nuisance are being preferred against them. The RCC of Kampala appealed to protesters to utilize the relevant anti-corruption bodies to channel their grievances through. However, police revealed that the naked protesters will be produced in court today, on Tuesday this week, which happens to be today. The protesters held placards with ratings on "Corruption messed me so hard. I am here to mourn. Uganda is not poor. They are stealing its wealth."
I can imagine how hard that story was for you to read.
Well, but the funniest, now, certain things are changing. And I hope, because really a naked woman, by the time
Robert,
a
we
woman
will
undresses
now launch
on African continent, it's a serious issue.
It's a serious
It's a
issue
serious
indeed.
issue.
But
Yes.
now we will delve into our international news, and we'll start in Israel, where the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has asked for forgiveness from Israelis for failing to return 6 hostages found dead in Gaza on Saturday, as Hamas warned more could be returned to their families in shrouds if a ceasefire isn't reached. His comments came as intense street protests over his handling of negotiations entered a second night in Israel. Pressure also mounted internationally as the UK suspended some arms sales to Israel, citing a risk of equipment being used to violate international law. But Israel's Prime Minister struck a defiant tone, insisting its troops must control Gaza's Philadelphia corridor, a strategically important strip of land which is a sticking point in negotiations with Hamas. Thousands of Israelis took to the streets on Monday in fresh protests called by hostages' families to express their anger at Mr. Netanyahu's failure to bring home their loved ones after almost 11 months. Now Moving on, the U.S. has seized a plane belonging to Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, claiming it was bought illegally for $13 million and smuggled out of the country. According to the United States Justice Department, the Falcon 900EX aircraft was seized in the Dominican Republic and transferred to the United States in the state of Florida. It is unclear how and when the plane ended up in the Dominican Republic. Tracking data showed it leaving La Isabela Airport near the capital Santo Domingo on Monday, arriving at Fort Lauderdale Airport in Florida soon after. Venezuela has denounced the seizure, saying that it amounted to an act of piracy. Foreign Minister Ivan Gil said the U.S. had justified itself with the coercive measures that they unilaterally and illegally impose around the world. In a statement, the Venezuelan government said it reserves the right to take any legal action to repair this damage to their nation. Now coming back to East Africa, the government in the Democratic Republic of Congo says inquiries are underway after an attempted jailbreak overnight from the country's biggest prison. Heavy gunfire rang out early Monday morning from Makala Central Prison in the capital, Kinshasa, as inmates tried to break out from the overcrowded facility, this according to authorities. Government spokesperson Patrick Muyaya confirmed on X that there was an attempted escape, adding that security forces now had the situation under control. Al Jazeera's Alain reported from Goma and said at least 2 people were killed in the incident. However, the pictures coming from the central jail of Makala show what local media already calls a carnage, but we cannot confirm the number of casualties, he said. He also added that local media reports say dozens of bodies were taken away from the prison. Now that's a sad state of affairs coming in from the DRC, but we'd like to check and see what Jerome Paul has for us in the press review today.
Well, in our press review today, we start off with the New Vision, because according to the New Vision, 177 members of parliament are set to refund the allowances. The per diem will be recovered from the legislators' pay, according to the New Vision. Who are these members of parliament? Find yourself a copy of the New Vision and find out. Then number plate scarcity hits country. More of the details in today's New Vision. Then there is a tribute. Tororo Cement Titan has been honored. More of that also in a New Vision. Then Vice President Alupo arrives in Beijing for China-Africa Forum. Pictorial of the Vice President representing the President that is in China. Then Katanga trial, defense lawyers ask for all evidential materials in regards to the same. Find details in the New Vision. As anniversary, Museveni salutes Dr. Atwine. Then also in her vision, does age matter in marriage? Bigger question up for discussion today. Then elsewhere, the Daily Monitor, feed your pupils milk and eggs, says Janet Museveni. Milking the system. First Lady and Education Minister Janet Museveni says in a bid to improve the nutrition of learners, especially those benefiting from free education, their feeding should be made better by packing for them food to school. Then nude protest. Women strip in change of tact on corruption. As Chinatown store, traders pain, the consumers gain. Find out more in the Daily Monitor. As Member of Parliament Lumu and opposition chiefs lock horns over leader of opposition and chief whip elections. Then government applies brakes on digital number plates again, as capturers rock crack shakes villages. Then in the Rainbow magazine, Jack and Jill stages play on loyalty. Find details in the Daily Monitor. Off to Kenya, the Daily Nation, win-lose deal that ended tutors' strike. In matters education, back to work. Formula signed amid claims of non-fulfillment of teachers' demands. Then also Uhuru's role in Raila African Union chairmanship campaigns. And then in matters aviation, Adani sets up local subsidiary amid push for Jomo Kenyatta International Airport deal. And then in matters politics, ODM, our terms to support Ruto's re-election bid have been highlighted. Then nepotism, outrage over promotion of senior officers, kin as well as friends. Then in the Healthy Nation, health before diabetic when pregnant. More in the Daily Nation. Now, also in the Daily Nation, there is a man who has been cited in a 1.5 billion Kenyan shillings equity bank heist, and he's held in a forest with lions and hyenas. More of that is in the Daily Nation. Now, lastly, from our press reviews, the Citizen newspaper from Tanzania, why uranium mining has yet to take off in Tanzania. Also, Tanzania and Zambia are set to sign Tazara Pact during FOCAC, as government is set to set up war on corruption in sports and elections. Then read about how Tarura has slashed cost of rural road construction. Then consider operators of upcountry buses for BRT role, government tells LATRA. Then Tanga Port's future as an important getaway to the world. That is it for our press review this Tuesday.
Oh, thank you, Jerome. Now, in one of the papers, I think it was the Daily Nation, you've shared a story of a man that was involved in a 1.5 billion bank heist in Equity Bank in Kenya. There is something about Equity Bank and things like this, but what I want you to know is that 1.5 billion Kenya shillings is 43 trillion Uganda shillings. How did he pull that off? Interesting stuff. But anyway, we are leaving you with Mbera by Levickson and Grace Morgan. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
And with me, Olive Monica, Najuma, and Jerome Paul Stonko plus Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono. Now today is a beautiful day. I would rather think that, but it isn't such a beautiful morning for the three protesters that tried to storm Parliament yesterday half naked, and now they are remanded to Luzira prison. Now, three ladies protesting against corruption and also the incident that took place in Chitezi landfill were storming Parliament, or attempted to storm Parliament half naked with placards that had some rather not very conducive words that I can't repeat here, but they were protesting against corruption. Those security agencies had them arrested, and they were taken to court and now remanded to Luzira prison. But that being said, we have also had a high spate of accidents in the country, and now the Traffic Directorate is devising means of ensuring that they accredit drivers so as to curb the accidents in the country. It is reported that over 98 fatalities have been registered in only 7 days, and 336 people have been injured. That is quite a number. So I'm happy that the Traffic Directorate, together with the Ministry of Works and Transport, are trying to do something to ensure that we curb the rate of accidents, fatalities on Uganda's roads. Well, good morning again. Welcome to Good Morning Uganda. Now, right next to me is Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono. Now, Robert, yesterday we had a conversation regarding the accidents happening on our roads. So does it make you a bit more comfortable that those in charge, those that are concerned with our road network and also safety, are doing something about it?
Well, I must say there have been so many initiatives that are meant to ensure they reduce the road carnage. But one of the things that has drained them has always been corruption and conflict of interest. I'm yet to see. Because in Uganda, how funny it is you'll find a business, as small as it may be, but you never know who is at the back seat of it. So sometimes we end up having conflict of interest. Then on the other hand, we meet corruption.
Yes.
Because these are two. If someone owns a fleet of buses and you're coming up with an initiative aimed at maybe taming something and reduces on their profit, it may not see the light of day, or they may be selective implementation of that. So those are usually the challenges we find in Uganda. But did you go to Chinatown?
I was supposed to go, and actually my son was convincing me to go yesterday, being a Monday, but I didn't have the time. And now, turns out, it has been temporarily closed, or at least yesterday.
And what is this? I want to understand. Sonko is the economist here. Now, the high turn-up of people, does it express poverty levels or people having capacity to purchase? How best do you explain this? Because the numbers I saw, I wasn't there, but I drove past. The numbers I saw, when I was looking on the various social media platforms, how it was a risk to people's lives. Because stampede was going to happen and we were going to lose lives.
And there would have been suffocation and stuff like that.
Yes, and I asked myself, these were not coming for free goods. They well know they are going to pay.
Yes.
However, this could be very cheap or slightly cheaper than the market price. But does this reflect that people don't have money? There is poverty and money is scarce, or it reflects that you're only poor alone if you don't have money at that particular time?
I would let Sonko, the businessman on the team, to explain that. Hello, Jerome Paul. How are you this morning?
I'm doing fantastic. I am doing okay.
Have you been to Chinatown?
No, I was there on Sunday. I was there just to pass by and try to do some window shopping.
And read the situation.
And read the situation.
And make plans for what you'll buy later.
Yeah, exactly. But by the look of things, it's giving black
bundle for only 1,000, or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily, or use the MyMTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Uganda's security agencies have tightened their grip regarding security in and around the city and urban centers after the United Nations and the United States sounded an alarm regarding impending terror attacks or attacks that are supposed to happen in the country by some terrorists. Now, this comes against the backdrop of the remembrance of the terror attack that happened in the United States on September 11th that left over 200 and 750 people dead back in 2001. And also remember that we also had a terror attack here in Uganda in July. That is back in 2010, and we lost a number of Ugandans that year. So because of this, there has been a grip tightened when it comes to our security. And one wonders is, because most times when we receive these alerts, many Ugandans don't take them seriously. But if our security agencies are taking them seriously, then it means there is something there that we should be vigilant about, each and every one of us. Now, we will be speaking to Luke Owesigire from the Uganda Police Force to tell us more about this security alert and what we should do as Ugandans to ensure that we are safe. And of course, this conversation, I will also have it with Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono. Now, Mr. Luke Owesigire will be joining us on the phone. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, how are you? From the studio.
I am great, and thank you so much for sparing some time to speak with us. Now, I'll dive right into it, and I would like for you to confirm the recent terror alert in Kampala and also give us some more details on the threat level.
confirm anything related to the terror alerts, but what I can inform Ugandans is that we have always had threats as a country, and those threats are still on even up to now. And in many cases, you have already seen them coming to fruition, like the bombings that happened some time back around Parliamentary Avenue and CPS. So we have always been on the lookout. We have always been vigilant. We have always come out to urge members of the public to remain vigilant, because the terrorists or the people threatening our livelihood are also not seated. They are always planning for a new way to come out with a threat. So that is what I can say about everything that is happening in the country right now.
Okay. So what measures has the police taken to address the alert?
Like I said, I can't talk much about the alert. I cannot even confirm whether those were even our alert. But what I can say is that we have always had threats as a country, and we have always boosted our intelligence component, always on the lookout, receiving information of anyone coming into the country and leaving the country. We have always been on the ground, engaging members of the public on suspicious characters within their communities, and there are places that are always on the lookout as specific targets, increasing patrols around them, and also overt police officers and covert police officers, and a way of picking information and also readily engaging with the threat in case it is around.
Now, Afando Westjere, from the police perspective, what is your analysis of the level of vigilance of Ugandans at such a time?
Well, I can say it is still wanting. Specifically, yesterday we had one of the shops mildly closed down because it had a lot of members of the public, and it wasn't following much of the SOPs for a country that is that has always been under threat by terrorism. There's a shop at Lugogo that had a lot of customers, and they were not doing much of the SOPs of access control and all that. So we had to limit the numbers of members of the public coming into the shop. So in a way that can also be seen as a place that can become a threat. And we are hoping that with time, or as of now, members of the public will put in measure many of the security implementations that we have always put up in the past, making sure that threats are averted, like checking anyone entering the shopping mall, checking bags as people enter taxi parks, many other things like we have always done in the past.
Now, for this particular alert from the United Nations and the US Embassy, you said you've always been alert on ground. Have you any additional deployments regarding these, or is it just business as normal from the police?
The deployments are there. Like I said, we have very many components. Our security agencies are doing their very best to make sure that any threat is averted. We have always done that. Sometimes members of the public, we may not come out to inform you that this and this has been done. But in many cases, we have also seen what our capabilities are. There are some threats that have been averted. There are some people that have been arrested related to terrorism within our communities. That is how we have been doing, and we shall continue to do the same thing, reacting on information we receive where a threat might be.
Now, when we were hit at Parliamentary Avenue and Central Police Station, still there were issues that you had received such reports and information before, but unfortunately this did still happen. What assurance do Ugandans have that this time around, maybe we may not have this because we don't desire it anyway?
Well, I'm not going to say it can't happen or it won't happen, but it is very important for every Ugandan to be vigilant. Like we, as security, we try as much as possible to stop many of those occurrences from happening, because like that specific day, there are a lot of ordinances, there are a lot of bombs that were recovered, all of them set to go on that specific day, but we only managed to have only 2 incidents. If the security agencies weren't that alert, it would have been a lot of ordinances going off that specific day at different locations. So we try as much as possible to stop such occurrences from happening, but when they happen, that doesn't mean that we are not doing our work. It means that we all have a part to play as Ugandans to make sure that such things don't happen. When you see something suspicious, please come out and report it.
Now, Mr. OSJ, there is the concern when it comes to certain crowded areas. You did mention checking people getting into bus parks and whatnot, but then we have places that Ugandans sometimes think are hotspots for and areas of concern. You can look at like our markets, like in downtown. You can look at areas like Chikubo. How best can we ensure as the public that we maintain safety and vigilance?
In the past, we've been working with the leaders of the specific organizations, like around downtown, we were working with Kasita, and the bus parks, we were working with the leaderships of the transport sector, transport communities, making sure that measures are put in place, because the police will not be everywhere. You know, the number is very small and Uganda is very big. So we try as much as possible to exist and work together with the different organizations, and we make sure that we bring out the best of everything. So that's what we shall do again, working with them, sensitization, and we shall continue doing that, because we, as police, we can never be everywhere.
Now, to a viewer watching and listening, how I would like for you to tell them how important it is for them to actually work together with security agencies in terms of seeking out areas or people that look out of place and suspicious.
Yeah, it is very important. You know, Uganda is a country that is very culturally, that has cultural diversity. So you cannot suspect someone because they are of a different distinction. What are they doing in church? Or, they don't look like us, but they're speaking our language, all that and all that. So I want to assume that there are some other components that the members of the public should be on the lookout to. Like someone going to a bar, leaving their bags unattended to, in the city center, someone is moving, drops something. We should all be very vigilant with the small things, especially on the mannerisms of the suspects, or the people that you suspect to be carrying an item. And basically that is it on the mannerism, and always report this. Anything left hanging unattended to, always report that matter.
Now, in the incidents we've had in the past, have we as Uganda had any learning lessons that we are now holding on to ensure that the same situations don't happen again?
Yeah, with every bad situation, there is always a lesson to learn. Yeah, we have learned a lot, which I may not come and tell you here, but we have really learned a lot, and we are adjusting to what we have learned, and we believe it is something that will help us in diverting any future incident.
Well, Afande, we must accept that there was a time we were very proactive, and the country was at high alert. Over a time, it seems many Ugandans have either gotten so much used to these alerts or not take them serious. Now, as police, what are you doing to ensure that they do this? Because we know you're also, according to your mandate, not only to protect life and property, but also to detect, but also prevent. So these Ugandans who are very careless about their lives, what is police doing? When you go down the tax park, you wonder if you even have alerts. When you go to these arcades, the Chikubo, what are you doing?
You can't blame any Ugandan on the alert bit because no one has officially come out on those alerts. So you cannot blame any Ugandan that they are not taking the alert seriously. These are things that have been moving around social media. A few Ugandans have smartphones, a few Ugandans are on social media. What I can say is it is everyone's responsibility, and it's our responsibility to go down as the police, specifically using our officers in the community liaison office, to go down and educate members of the public. Again, we will not tire. We have always done this, and we shall continue to do it. Yes, there are those that will heed to what we are telling them, and then there are those that we don't expect them to put any reaction to what we are telling them, and that is very much expected. We are all human. So we do as much as possible as security to avert most of the threats that come within our reach. And the members of the public, we just call upon collaboration. If at all our officers reach out, just collaborate with them, that is it.
Now, when you talk about reaching out to your police officers, how have you built the public-police relationship? You're the public relations officer, the relationship, because it takes one to have confidence to volunteer information, mostly regarding domestic terrorism, where these are having improvised devices and maybe assemble them within communities or their homes.
No, it is actually very good. We have, in the past, like you said, recovered a lot of items being assembled in community. And that is because the members of the public were giving us information. So we know it is very good. We have no problem because although we have issues, we might have issues here and there with the police and some members of the public, but if something to do with safety in their communities, the public is always available to avail us information.
Okay, Afande, what would be your parting shots to Ugandans that listen or hear these terror advisories and maybe try to change their travel plans to the country? Let's say Ugandans living in the diaspora, some of them don't know what exactly is happening on ground back home. How would you encourage them regarding their travels to the country? Because we know that we are going into a season when many of them should be coming home for holidays.
Well, Ugandans should remain calm. Like I said, it is not, those alerts are not ours. They are not of police. And if at all there was any threat that needed us to make such an alert, we would have come out and informed you about them. But what we can tell is that we are doing everything possible to make sure that every Ugandan, non-Ugandans inside Uganda, and those planning to come within Uganda, safe. We have always done this, and we shall continue to do it. So if you're planning to come to the country, please come. If you're planning to go out and have fun, please go out and have fun, but make sure that the place you're in, security measures are in place, you're protected.
Okay, and by security measures in these places, you mean there is security at the entrance, there is... but Afande, actually, before I let you go, I have an issue with the security measures in some places we go to. You'll find that as a woman, they will search my bag with their hands or just touch it, and then they have now checked. And in most cases, I wonder, how do you know that my cell phone inside my bag is actually not a bomb? So what do you say about security places where they have what looks like security measures, but in actual sense, it doesn't feel right?
Well, you can't have everything. That is what I can say. We can't have machines that check phones whether they are bombs. That won't be there. I don't expect it any time from now. I've only seen that at one event in the whole country, so don't expect to go to Serena and expect your phone to be taken away, that it is suspected to be a bomb.
So when you tell us that we should ensure that security measures are in place, what exactly are we supposed to
I
look
mean
out for?
access control. There are some things that access control can always detect.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Luke Owoyesigire. He is the Deputy Spokesperson, Kampala Metropolitan Area. We've been having a conversation regarding boosting security within Kampala and other urban centers within, and of course within the entire Kampala Metropolitan after a terror advisory from the United Nations and also the United States Embassy in Uganda. Now, they claim that there is an impending terror attack on the country in commemoration of the terror attack that happened on September 11th in the United States in 2001, where over 2,750 people were left dead. We remember the story about the Twin Towers. Even if you are young, I'm sure you might have a memory. Now, Robert, based on the conversation we just had with the Afande, does it leave you feeling comfortable that we are in safe hands?
Well, there is a word, I don't know how best to phrase this, but it seems this is being taken lightly and kind of a bit watered down. Like
Why do you think so?
Social media alerts. I'm not an expert in security,
Yes.
as an authority in security, but at least I spent a long time of my career as a beat reporter of crime, specifically. Now, I think what is important now is not to create fear among the public,
That's right.
but to ensure they are vigilant. Now, if you want the public to be vigilant, it therefore requires for them to take this seriously. That if the United Nations, if the US Embassy has warned that there is this potential, please take these things seriously. However, don't fear, the situation is under control. Watch your neighbor. Know that any person next to you is a potential terrorist. Because now we are having another wave. Previously, we would suspect maybe imported bombs. Vest bombs at Chadondo Ragibe Club, at Ethiopian Village, that these are gadgets. Now, what is happening today? These terrorists are using improvised devices, things you can buy anywhere. Assemble them, put a few technology, use a mobile phone, let it go.
And you recover.
And you recover. So it's easier now. Because I think over time they have been able to train, and these people have infiltrated us.
But now, Robert, there is something else. Every time we have, let's say, a terror attack, like the bombs that have gone off in the past few years, there is something when it comes to the arrests. There has been contention from a certain religious sect which says they feel targeted every time something of that nature happens.
I want to rubbish that. It's not that they feel targeted in any way. But the question is, what do you do if whenever you go to arrest, the people you're arresting belong to that
sect?
And also we must look and study critically the history of terrorism. It has an issue regarding radicalism of a certain faith. And even when you find many of these young boys, they are taken as Christians, recruited, given Islamic names. So security is not going to let a suspect go because
they're trying to make a certain
they're trying to please. So when you look at these two things, one, if those arrested are Muslims and they bear Muslim names, security won't let them go for peace of religion. But also two, when you go back and study the history, the genesis, you'll find that these are Muslim radicals.
They don't represent the entire religion.
They don't represent the entire religion.
They are fanatics.
They are fanatics, those extremists.
Yes.
So, definitely, if they have a connection with the faith, they'll have Islamic names.
I think what I might take away from Robert's position is that it's not that security deems every person from this religion
Yes.
a terrorist. But therein are radicals and fanatics that sometimes end up being arrested every time we have a terror attack. So it doesn't mean that we should ostracize our Muslim brothers and sisters in the community. No, that is actually wrong, because most of them, actually majority, are innocent.
Yes.
But that being said, we need to stay vigilant as Ugandans. There is a security advisory of an impending terror attack. Now, our security agencies are very capable. They have averted many of these, but that doesn't mean that you become complacent. So you should also look out for yourself. Look at your neighbor if they're suspicious. I remember an incident in Makindye last year where neighbors became suspicious of a neighbor who only came home in the evening. They never saw him go out to take a shower. They never saw him cook. So they became suspicious and alerted police. And when the police came in, they found that he had these improvised devices he was building to make a bomb. So you have to really be extremely, extremely vigilant.
These issues of taking what doesn't belong to you. You think someone has forgotten
You pick a bag that is not yours.
My brother, you may take a bomb with you.
Anyway, with that being said, we will take a short break and we'll be right back.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC. Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, dondolo.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000, or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Juko.
Yo.
Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story every story and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Thank you so much for sticking around. My good name is Erin Alena Misango, and this is the GMU Tourism Express, that time that we have always committed to making sure that we let you know about everything that is happening in the world of travel in Uganda and East Africa. Well, now the US Embassy put up an alert that there is a terror attack on Kampala in Uganda, and this is a threat to the tourists, this is a threat to the Ugandans, this is a threat to all people that we are planning to travel to the country. But we should only assure you of one thing, that the Ugandan government and the security authorities in the country have always worked together and have always put up several efforts to see that the country is safe. I should say that Uganda is one of the safest African countries that we've had for a very long time. We've not had like civil wars, we've not had such conflicts. Of course, there are some small attacks that come in, maybe like strikes, demonstrations, but the country is typically safe. So we want to assure the tourists coming into the country that the government of Uganda is really assuring you safety. Please don't cancel your trips, don't cancel your itineraries, just keep on bringing in those confirmations and bookings to see that you come and explore the Pearl of Africa. Uganda is such a beauty for you to miss on such notifications. So please don't cancel your bookings. Just entrust your tour operator that you're working with, and entrust the government that we are going to keep you safe here in our country as you explore the Pearl of Africa and all the beauties that there are in our country. Well, today is a beautiful day, and we are going to talk more about something special in the tourism sector. Now, like I always say, that the tourism sector is huge, and if we are to promote Uganda's tourism, we have to make sure that we diversify our products. We have to make sure that there are different products that we put on board, such that when a tourist comes into the country, there are different things that they can tour around. Forget about only the gorillas, forget about only the couch experiences, forget about only the city tours, our wildlife safaris. There is a lot that the country can offer. And today, we are basically going to go a little bit deeper into religious or faith-based tourism in the country. When we talk about faith-based tourism, there are so many attractions in the country that are really faith-based. Talk about Gaddafi Mosque, Namirembe Cathedral, and Namugongo Shrine. Like, there are so many attractions. But today we are with someone in the studios, and that is Mr. Okrut Lazarus, the programs coordinator at the Interreligious Tourism Center. And he's here to tell us, to make us understand how is the potential of faith-based tourism in the country. Lazarus, how are you this morning?
Fine, thank you, Irene.
It is nice having you.
It's a pleasure. Good morning, viewers. Good morning, Uganda Tourism Express. My name is Lazarus Okrut, and I would like to correct Irene. I don't want to be asked when I go back to office that you're given another responsibility at UBC. I am a programs officer for Interreligious Tourism Center, which happens to be tourism department of Interreligious Council of Uganda, which is a secretariat coordinating the religious institutions in the country, as well as a secretariat for East African Religious Council. So we double national and regional. Today we are here to talk about religious tourism, also called by known by faith tourism, also can be called pilgrimage, also called missionary tourism. So all these, and lucky enough, this is one of the oldest forms of tourism.
Now, Lazarus, now that is where we need to understand from. According to UNESCO, globally 60% of the global population, people have a religion they believe in. And it is said, still according to UNESCO, that 25% of these people have showed interest in religious tourism.
Yeah.
But we need to understand what are the unique opportunities that faith-based tourism in Uganda is providing or putting on board for the people that are interested in such forms of trips.
To go a little bit faster, maybe to go back to the statistics, 98% of Uganda's population at least subscribes to one faith or the other.
Yeah.
So when we talk about harnessing religious tourism product, most people know it for as the only place of going, raise hands, worship and all that. They don't have the other economic perspective of the product. And on top of that, I think even the custodians themselves didn't have an idea of what this product can bring economically. But I am glad since Intelligence Council of Uganda started this department, most religious leaders talk of the Grand Mufti of the Uganda Muslim Supreme Council, the Archbishop of the Kampala Archdiocese have been traveling, and they learned from the other ends that, oh, so this is it. So now they are embracing. So that gives us a gate pass to most of the challenging situations all this while that have been hindering religious tourism from blossoming in Uganda.
Yes, now this is what, like, when I ask that unique opportunities, why should someone come to Uganda for religious trips? What is there that Uganda is offering that is someone cannot find anywhere else in Kenya, in Tanzania, or anywhere else in the world? As Uganda literally globally is ranked as one of the, actually as the only destination with the Uganda Matters, the biggest population of the Uganda Matters. If you go to other countries like Turkey, they are harnessing these journeys, yeah, the journeys of Paul, the journeys of, because they are developing them as trails, yeah. So if we are ranked as the biggest martyrdom destination in the world, it means we have the biggest opportunity to harness that means we can come up with we can market the Uganda Matters event and harness it, not only to make it as one day off annual event, and we make it a whole year wide. Then also there are also events like people trekking from maybe the people leading the different events. I mean that event every year, you know, it's every different diocese, yeah. So we can harness that people who, last year who worked with them, like pilgrims from Congo, worked with people maybe from, they joined them from a certain different destinations up to Namgongo. Then we can also develop on these trails. We can do cycling, we can do bike, people riding bicycles, then we can do biking, then there's also being driven. So it's one of the only unique thing we have. Yeah. Okay, apart from unique things, what else is indulged in religious tourism? What other destinations?
Amazing.
Yeah.
There are very many. Last year, we did a product audit with Uganda Tourism Board of religious tourism product. And we got to ascertain that we have over 100 destinations in the whole country.
Wow.
So, but what is most profound, or what people know, is only those based in the central. Let me ask you a question. We always celebrate Janan Luum every February. When was the last time you were in Muchwini Kitgum?
Even if you ask me, I think I don't even remember the reason why you celebrate Janan Luum.
You see? But
I know.
He was there sitting in Archbishop who was killed in office. When was the last time you were in Mayuge? For
what is in Mayuge?
For who? Bishop Hannington. When have you ever been there? His site, at his site? So all this and more. Then Abayudaya and Mbali. Ever been to Abayudaya?
No, Lazarus. Oh, okay. I somehow feel my question is not yet justified.
No,
but because of time, I'm going to cut you short.
Ascertain so that you get to know that there are some places, or there is a wide destination. I mean, there is a big product in religious tourism that.
Yes, we know that there is a big product, but people would need to understand these destinations. Maybe you mentioned, like, okay, of course, for me, I know the common ones. Like you mentioned Gaddafi Mosque in Kampala. Because when you talk about interreligious tourism, I think you're not only talking about Christianity, is it?
Yeah.
But you're also talking about the traditional beliefs. There are some people that come to to Uganda to go into those traditional sacred places just to see how the traditional people were doing what, because that is all religion. Religion is just a faith.
About faith,
that someone is believing in. But now, how do you think the government is going to work to collaborate with the private sector so that we promote religious-based tourism? That is my last question for you.
I think government has been a little bit active in this, promoting religious tourism, because one, it has been investing in Namgongo, two, it's developing different infrastructures that we're also working on the trails from Namgongo from Munyonyo to Namgongo. Then also, I think the government has a little bit stabilized all the economy to ensure that this tourism thrives away from the different advisories being issued by different agencies. I still see Uganda as one of the top secure places to be.
Okay.
Also, the government has acknowledges religious tourism in the national development plans. So I think that also gives us an advantage towards developing religious tourism.
Well, Lazarus, this conversation is interesting that I would want to continue it, but because of time that we are limited, I'm going to stop you at that. Thank you so much. We are glad to have you in the studios. And when it gets to religious or faith-based tourism, I'm going to encourage everyone. There is beyond, or there is a lot beyond just going to church for service. If you go to Rubaga Cathedral, there is a lot beyond the church service. There is a lot beyond the church service at Namirembe Diocese. So find time. Go to these places, learn about the historical places, the history behind them, the heritage. There is a lot that you will be amazed with the tourism aspect of these places. So religious-based tourism is something that we should really embrace as a country to see that together we promote the country's tourism. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Irene Alena Misango, and coming up is Joan Paul Sonko with a business update.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Maskari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, every story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Well, good to have your company. Good morning, and thank you very much for sticking around to Good Morning Uganda. I'm Joan Paul Sonko, and I've brought you more business news this Tuesday morning as we are officially in the month of September. Now, we'll be taking your attention to what is happening in Kampala, starting with the state of business in and within. Well, we start off with what is happening at the Chinatown. Now, day 3 of the opening of the Chinatown, so many Ugandans flood the place, which forced, of course, the bosses at the place to close it down by around 6 p.m. simply because of the numbers that were crowded on the inside of Chinatown. Now, this Chinatown superstore has seen many shoppers crowded for the past 3 days since its opening, including window shoppers, while the low cost of many items is still the main source of excitement. Now, while the catchwords of the store is cheaper, satisfaction and quality, quality is not something many of the Ugandans are really looking at as a standout, but most of the shoppers are really skeptical about the quality of the products, simply because they believe the fact that these products are made in China and they're being sold at a cheaper, they may not be products that may live for long. Now, China's embassy in Uganda has defended their country, saying there are quite a number of different products manufactured in China. However, Ugandan importers seek for the low quality products, and that is why many of the Ugandans see the low quality products on the Ugandan markets and then come out to say that Chinese products are never of good quality. But the embassy came out to reveal that there are quite a number of products being produced, low quality and of course higher quality. Now, it only depends on your wallet or how much you have to spend on some of these particular products. Now, on day 3, however, there was no evidence of some of the price quotations that had attracted the hordes of shoppers, and the reason as to why there were no price quotations anymore is simply because the attendants revealed that many of the goods that had been on display on Saturday had been sold out by Sunday. Now, meaning there was a huge demand for these particular products from the Ugandans. Now, elsewhere, many, however, especially electronics, plastics, foodstuffs and other household items still had fairer prices compared to what is on the general market or what many Ugandans have been subjected to over the years. Now, a feature standing out was that almost all the items are made in China, including those that where the Ugandan industry has matching products like plastics, stationery and others. So many of the products are from China. But please do note, 40% of the products are made and manufactured in Uganda, because according to a policy that was passed by the government, which was supposed to be, or which is picked up by the retail, by the store owners of Chinatown, is that 40% of these particular goods are Ugandan made. And if you're more observant enough, you will be able to notice, for those who have visited the store, or for those who are yet to visit the store, is that there are some products from companies like Bidco, companies like Mukwano, especially laundry bar soap. There is some powdered soap as well, and then other products, some of the few products as well coming in from Uganda. Now, when it comes to the fact that many traders, that many of the consumers are excited about the price and the goods that are on display, development coming in from Kampala or the business district do reveal that this particular upcoming has created some discomfort for a number of traders in Kampala, who believe that this is creating huge competition for them, because do note that some of these particular prices seem to be factory set prices according to many of the traders, and they kind of feel they are not going to be earning a lot, simply because now they are competing with the Chinese themselves. Now, of course, over the past few months, in regards to the grievances that the Kampala traders have been throwing at government, is that through some of their umbrella bodies, most predominant one being Kasita, they've always been calling out the government to create some sort of regulation where these particular businesses that are owned by foreigners do not come to set up retail shops to compete with theirs, simply because not so many traders have the money to start up big industries, and so that is why they resort to retail businesses, because when you look at many of the foreigners who are now investing in retail businesses and other small or petty businesses, it is a sign that many of these traders in Uganda are being outcompeted, because now the other ones are providing at a lower price and the same goods. that are being sold at a higher price. Now, many Ugandans are also coming out to reveal that it's giving them an advantage simply because many of the goods they've been buying in Kampala have been hiked, yet now Chinatown is offering them at a cheaper or lower price. Now, several retail chains have quit Uganda over the last decade. If I'm to give you a few names of those, these particular ones include the likes of Gem, ShopRite, Tuskys, Nakumat, and well, many are still looking at the projection of Chinatown. Now, when you look at the reasons behind why some of these particular foreign retailers have been closing shop, many of them have been citing the fact that there were some fraud cases because they were employing some Ugandans. Others were saying heavy taxes along the way, and of course the fact that they were having goods on their shelves that were imported, and not so many Ugandans would afford these goods because they could come at a higher fee. And when you look at some of the shipments that are coming in from the Chinese market, is as a result of the situation caused by the local traders. By the way, that is why most of the Ugandans feel it is better to buy from Chinatown than buying from fellow Ugandan traders who tend to sell the same products but at a higher price. Well, you will get to understand the economies of scale as to why many of the Ugandans also sell at a higher price. You have to understand that they have to pay rent at times, then they also have to deal with the taxes as well. So, well, we wish all the best to everyone in business. Now, elsewhere, we talk matters climate change, because what is happening on the African continent is, according to the World Meteorological Organization, temperatures have continued to soar, and it is putting a huge demand for governments to start spending heavily on matters climate change. Now, Africa faces an increasingly heavy toll from climate change, with many countries having to spend up to 9% of their budgets battling climate extremes. This is according to a World Meteorological Organization report that was revealed yesterday. Now, this particular report is as of 2023, which is talking about the state of the climate in Africa. Now, despite producing far lower greenhouse gas emissions than other continents, when you look at Africa's temperatures, they have risen more rapidly than the global average, according to the same report. Now, besides that, for sub-Saharan Africa, for example, adapting to the changing climate will cost an estimated $30 to $50 billion per year over the next decade. This is according to the World Meteorological Organization State of Africa report, State of Climate in Africa report 2023. Now, the same report is urging African countries to invest in state meteorological and hydrological services in order to speed up the implementation of early warning systems that will help save lives. Now, the warning is coming as African countries mull how to use this year's UN COP meetings to secure a bigger share of global climate financing. Now, the 54-nation continent has been attracting more funds for climate mitigation and adaptation projects in recent years, but it still gets less than 1% of annual global climate financing, government officials said earlier in August. And please do note that this year's COP will be held in Baku, that is Azerbaijan. Now, also, African countries, according to the same report, are losing averagely 2 to 3% of gross domestic product, responding to the deadly heat waves, heavy rains, floods, cyclones, and prolonged droughts, according to the World Meteorological Organization. Well, as we're summing up with business this morning, we now look at the forex market to see how different currencies have been faring on the exchange and how the Ugandan shilling has been faring against the various currencies. The US dollar opened yesterday at 3,711.64, while selling was 3,721.64 shillings. By midday, it was buying at 3,715.50 shillings, while selling at 3,725.50. Then closing time, the US dollar was buying at 3,714.48 shillings, while selling at 3,724.48. The Great Britain pound was buying at 4,877.85, while selling at 4,890.98. The euro was buying at 4,107.10, while selling at 4,118.15. The Kenyan shilling was buying at 28.85, while selling at 28.92. While the Tanzanian shilling was buying at 1.36, while selling at 1.37. and the South African rand was selling at 208.75 Ugandan shillings. Now, it's against that backdrop that you will find some of these currencies rating that way this very morning, and the updates are always coming in 3 times daily, or they are daily updates courtesy of the Central Bank of Uganda. Olive Monica Najuma is here with the traffic updates. Good morning.
Hello, I'm Olive Monica Najuma with the traffic updates. Now we will start right along Ginger Road in Bwegere and see how we can get to areas of Nakawa. Now looking at Bwegere, I see there is a long stretch of traffic jam that is coming through from that side heading to the side of Chireka. And today I see that the traffic is rather intense for people that are coming from that direction heading to town, and in some spaces it gets intense where I see a deep red zone, meaning there is no movement at all. There is intense traffic jam in this area, especially as you approach the areas that are nearing the Northern Bypass roundabout. But as you get to the bypass part, you are going to experience a bit of a smooth flow of traffic, but then ahead the traffic jam continues and it is rather intense. Now in this area, especially when you're approaching the road that goes to Gwatiro, there is intense traffic jam both on the side of those coming to Kampala, but also those that are heading the side of Ginger Road, and it goes on and on for quite some distance. So if you must be somewhere at a certain point, I think this is the right time for you to start moving, because the traffic situation is not looking good at all. Now as we approach the roundabout at the Northern Bypass, I see green zones which are indicative of a smooth flow of traffic. As you can see on your screen right there, we have a smooth flow of traffic as we approach the roundabout in Bwegere as we cross now into Chireka. I see that the Northern Bypass looks pretty good. There is smooth flow of traffic over there. Now let's look at the areas of Chireka and see how that looks like. Now for those coming in from Namgongo Road, we have smooth flow of traffic coming through from that side, but it's not the same situation along the main Kampala Jinja Highway, because here I see red and green zones in just a few spaces here and there. There is a traffic jam right as you come from Namgongo Road, this area that has Shell Chireka. We have some bit of traffic jam, and I see a bit of traffic jam that is coming through from Kamuli Road. Now going back to the main Kampala Jinja Highway, surprisingly here we have a smooth flow of traffic as we head into the areas of Banda. Now as Banda C1 connects to the main Kampala Jinja Highway, we have smooth flow of traffic there. Nabisunsa Close has smooth flow of traffic, and going back to the main Kampala Jinja Highway, we still have smooth flow of traffic even around the area of Chambogo University. Now continuing ahead, I see that as we approach Nakawa, we now start to experience a few red zones, and as we get to the intersection that has Ntinda Road and Nakawa Jinja Road, then here we have a bit of traffic jam, but it is not intense. We don't have the commotion that is usually outside the Spear Motors. But as we continue within, I see that Nakawa actually looks good. There is smooth flow of traffic even in Nakawa, and when we get to the area that has ShopRite, sorry, I beg your pardon, when we get to the area that that is had the former, it is called now Lugogo Mall, yes, there is smooth flow of traffic here, and I see that there is smooth flow of traffic coming through from Lugogo bypass, and but those coming in or joining the main Kampala Jinja highway from 4th Street, there is a bit of traffic jam here, though I think for those that are going Jinja Road side, there is traffic jam because of the traffic lights in this area. Continuing with Jinja Road, we have smooth flow of traffic. You will only encounter traffic jam as you get to the Jinja Road roundabout, and it is not intense. If you're going Wampeo Avenue side, there is smooth flow of traffic over there. Now, the intersection that has Access Road and Yusufule Road and Jinja Road, there is a bit of traffic jam, but we know because there are traffic lights in this area. And that's where we will end with our traffic updates for the day. I'll be sharing the same tomorrow, same time. But for now, I'll say goodbye. Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono is coming up next with the agenda. Stay tuned.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC. Was brought to you by.
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, dondolo.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000, or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Juko.
Yo.
Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the Parish Development Model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The Parish Development Model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, every story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
107.3 Kampala, 96.9 Mbale, 95.7 Jinja, 98.6 Soroti. You are all covered.
UBC Mutego. UBC Mutego.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning and thank you for being with us on UBC TV. Welcome to Good Morning Uganda Agenda. I'm Robert Chirabo Nyonyitono, in case you have just joined. Now this morning we are going to be discussing something in line with ICT, skilling the youth through ICT, and we want to look at the role of GSM 5G in youth empowerment and job creation. Most of the times we talk about information technology communication, and one of the things that this is a potential area to fight unemployment in this country, but you need to have the skills. And with me I have 2 young men, I hope they are still young men, who have devoted their time to skilling the youth in this country, most of the girl child, to ensure they have skills that can enable them tap into the ICT sector to improve on issues of their welfare, but also create jobs. Now join me, welcome Ali Raza, who is the director, GSM 5G. You're most welcome, Raza.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Robert, once again to join you.
And then at the extreme end, I have Mukasa Paul from the same institution. He's the operations manager. Mukasa, good morning.
Good morning, Robert, and thank you for hosting us.
Now, to begin with, let me start, Raza. When you talk about, there is a word here, GSM 5, then G. What do these stand for? What do you do? Are you authentic on what you're going to be discussing? My viewer must know that.
Of course, there is no doubt on that, because the GSM is the global system management. It has 70% part of the world now. So we are so sure. We have no doubt.
Now, Mukasa, what exactly do you do because we are looking at skilling the youth. Now, what does your organization do?
Thank you very much for that question. What we exactly do is try to skill as many people as possible. Skilling them in what? I'm the operations manager of 5G SMG. We try and meet various rural people, people who really need services, people who have gone to school and haven't found jobs. We meet them, we say that join us, we train you in doing something that can bring you minimum something to put on the table. How do I come to this? I used to work in a very big corporate. I'm an architect. I met Ali about 15 years ago. He told me that, yes, you work in a company, but what if one day you wake up and you don't have that job? He trained me how. Those days we used to have those button phones. So he told me that just by changing this battery, by this screen going off, someone is very disturbed. So they will look for a service. And you'll find you can earn like 5,000, some money, out of just changing it. You get a spare, add it to this, and then you get the phone right. And that is practical. So out of him, I learned that I can use some skill. I don't have to look for jobs often. And I multiplied that. I went into working smartphones, tabs, laptops, installing. You just get the spares, add them up like any mechanic. And then you have the money. I developed the skill, I built it, I got some other people. Everyone used to come for me, some money. I said, you people, you can do this. It became a business for me. I spread it out, and sometimes I just say that, hey, somehow this one person wants some money from me. But if they learn this skill, they can do it. And you don't need to have a lot of education to do it, because you have the cable. It's like a mechanic saying changing a tire. You have the tire, you have the wheel, and you just fix it back and you just earn something for lunch. So with a phone, you say, if you learn that, hey, if I get this screen and put it back here, remove this one, see where the wires go and put it back, someone is going to pay me. That's a skill. You will go out there, anywhere you go, you're hungry, you're looking for a job, you just have to see someone is just standing there and the phone drops and it's going to say, I can repair it. You know where to call for the spare. Or what's the type of the phone? This is the type of the phone. Call the phone and say, put the spare on the bus.
How do you know where is the problem?
Where is the problem? Yes, thank you, Ali. Put the spare on the bus and please, I receive it this end. I fix this phone and I'll get that money. You're saving someone, and someone is being skilled, even if they went abroad. Like we're having a lot of girls going out. Of recent, we've been training a lot of boys. But Mr. Ali decided that we go for the girls also, who are going out of the country. Yet ICT has come. So we are training them. We go out to seminars, NGOs are calling us, but the time we have is very limited. I mean, you ask around, who has a broken phone, who has this phone, what is the name of the phone? Okay, we get the spares. We help her fix it, and she learns that she can do it even for another and another. Then we tell her, you find a setting somewhere in a town, make a small shop, build the trust, and then you start there. That is what we are doing out of service for this country.
Now this takes me to Ali. When Paul talks about, it seems very, very easy, but please paint for me a detailed picture. He talked of mobile phones, now he brings in, now we are focusing on the girl child. Let's understand, you as the director of GSM 5G, help us understand. One, what motivated you? Is this something that people pay for? You know, the world needs to better understand what exactly you do. He gave us, I think, a drop in the ocean.
we became the warrior. At one certain level came to the life and we said, no, we have to do. We were tired. Where when we see the people goes to take the bread in Africa, which only continent hold the organic food in the planet. And they take a photo that we have done this, we have done this. We decided, okay, even if we give a skill to one person in a year, it will be permanent chain for the youth. It will be the permanent food for the society. So the most we want Ugandan, we focus on Ugandan foreigner. You know, one certain level of the age goes and when you see, let me go back to my country. But when he sees there is no future, he also stuck there. You understand that? That is the way of pulling our people back to the country. As a society, it belongs to the home industry. You know, I'm a Pakistani origin, and I see in my country, every home has industry. For example, in one area or one society has like 100 homes, it holds like 15 homes, manufacturing sector, you understand, which provide a job or an employment for other maybe 15 more homes. That is the biggest base mind came to us as a GSM5, we shall do it. We shall do it freely. We want those millions of dollar advertisement by the NGOs around the world that Al Jazeera, CNN or BBC, that we are feeding Africa.
Now, Ali, please connect food to the ICT question I asked you.
Yeah.
Because it was simple. I want to know what prompted you and what are those skills you pass to Ugandans?
Uganda is only lacking the skill. That is the biggest gap we have it. ICT. You see, this is the girl who can do everything. That is the main purpose came to our mind, that we can really boost our youth for the technology, ICT information communication technology. Then the future will be very bright because of education system, and education for the English method is very perfect in this country. What was lacking is the technology, is the skill. Every sector is now belong to the technology. Even the agriculture sector belong to technology. You understand that? Why I brought up the food sector, it was part of the biggest issue in human being is the food. You cannot deny. Once we have the skill, we can promote other youth, we can spread the skill to other youth on a easy. They say it, once you train one person, you have trained 100 people. Because on his age or her age, she's gonna spread it. It depends. Maybe they will charge money or maybe they will not. But skill is gonna spread.
Now, what is that skill? Because when I look at a clip there, I see a young girl. Is this something you offer for free? What are the specific areas that you focus?
What the world needs is technology.
Yes.
Hardware engineering, software engineering, laptop engineering, GSM engineering, satellite engineering. Satellite mean like those kind of dishes we can call Zuku, DSTV, all those, they are called satellite, you understand? They all belong to ICT sector. We focus on that one. Now, do you know the 70% problems are sorting out for the iOS software in the Apple industry, meaning software. No need to open the phone, just softwares are there. Same way an Android edition for the Samsung, software is become, there was a time when the hardware sector was big. Now the time has come when the software sector has took place for the even hardware sector. So like you are saying, she's well trained. She did it. That is the proof to the country, that is the proof to the nation that we can do everything and we don't need to go and look a job around the world. Like,
let me bring in Paul maybe here. Now, Paul, when we talk about, he's mentioned what you train people in. Now, let me understand. You've talked more of girls. Is this about empowering a particular gender? Is this a free training? Are you having like a school, you know? Because when you talk about skilling people skilling the youth to fight unemployment, we must understand Ugandans are eager, but sometimes the funds to have this knowledge, it is the ignorance maybe, or even not knowing how best they can tap into this opportunity.
Thank you very much for that question. Now, you realize that it's the heart. Our heart is about skilling someone. I went to Ali as a person, he skilled me, and I realized that this is a very good potential for so many others. And he still insisted on it. That's why even we come up to here, we have skilled a lot of youth for free.
Okay.
They come, we give them the space. It's up to them to be eager to learn. Because like you saw her, she was watching the technician do it. Then she got the chance to repair by herself. We give her the gadget. But we can only do it for a limited number because we are not so big. But we are happy when we do it for someone. In fact, there are walk-ins. And Mr. Ali just says, would you be interested in repairing phones? Because this person has come begging in the shop for something. Then say, no, you can do better than beg. Would you be interested in doing this? Then we, as the operations, I say that, we have this place this way. Can you be able to make it every day, maybe after lunch? So I squeeze you in for like 2 hours. Yeah, now that she's a manager and she's made her own shop. But no talent. So many who are watching us here are in town, Arua, Masaka, Mbale, they know us. We have skilled at least 1, 2 everywhere. And they have gone out and spread. Like he said, if they have charged money, we don't know. But on our side, we've done it for free. We give you a few hours in our place. Every other day you book in because we can't have everyone.
Especially in the terms of the holidays, you know, when
mostly holidays, parents come and they then say, we have a full list, we are fully booked.
Some come for 10 days even to learn the basic knowledge. It has no problem. It is not, you said it looks to be easy. Everything is not easy. It depends what do you want. When you have the basic knowledge, you know what will help us. We shall not purchase the reconditioned product in this country. We shall stop even to bringing fake products. People get benefits, lack of, when they find there is no knowledge in the nation. When the knowledge is there, everybody will mind to bring a good product. You know, the most important thing, European sector, they did not have agriculture part. They grow up as a technology. They are now in the world best because of the they have captured the technology. In Asian sector, the agriculture is there. Okay, you know, some sector they have agriculture, some they don't have. So Asian sector, agriculture and rice, you know, all those cotton, all those things. But in Africa, Uganda, we are thinking, what is lacking here? Number one place for the agriculture, only the skill. When we shall, you see, there was a time when 10,000 girls used to leave every day from this country per day. Now it's still like 2,000 or 1,500. Come on. It is the Ministry of Gender should give the confidence to our youth, especially the girls. They are the biggest part of this country who controls the agriculture sector, who controls the home. For example, if one woman leaves the home, that is no longer a home. We have lost a home, we have lost the agriculture sector. So we can guarantee you, if we bring up the confidence to our girls, 77% part is youth under the age of 25 in this country. 1 million children are in the secondary school in this country yearly. 100,000 go for graduation, which is like 40 to 50,000. They finish even graduate. Only Makerere University, 15,000. They finish one sector of graduate. After finish, do you believe graduate in this country, they are suffering to look a job for 300,000 shilling per month?
So how do you aim to solve that?
Only skill, home industry. When the skill will come, home industry will come.
What do you mean by home industry here?
Come on,
one would look at the cottage industry, but for you in ICT and technology.
Yeah, the moment we shall have a full control of the skill, home industry will come automatically. The moment home industry will come, the country will grow. Employment burden will reduce from the government. At the end, you will find everybody will be happy on his own society.
May I come in there?
Yes, please do.
Yeah, now, what he has to explain about home industry is this, that when you do have a skill, you don't have to go to look for a job area. A toolbox can cost you about 200 Uganda thousand shillings. And if the phone of Paul, Ali, gets a fault, you can have that toolbox at your home. You've seen the equipment she was using. She can have it at her home.
Very cheap price.
Very cheap.
Very cheap.
The Ministry of Gender can provide it, or someone. And that
First,
person can...
let them bring the confidence. We must stop our girls. I got a call from one of the friend today that the girl has been beaten badly and she's looking away to go out in United Arab Emirates to the office. Come on. We must stop our slavery. Me, I can use the simple word. In this 2024, we have everything. Uganda can be the mini Dubai. We are not lacking anything apart from the controlling our youth. And that is, or that can happen when the confidence level will increase to our youth, especially on our girls.
So Paul was still elaborating more on the home industry, please.
Yes, like how it becomes the home industry is that you have a toolbox at home. Why would your daughter, wife leave home when they can build the confidence for someone like maybe Ali? Give me your phone, I'll repair it. They repair it at home. They don't have to go in town. They don't have to go like looking for a place for rent. In the home, while she's doing this phone, her senior 4 child is looking. Are you seeing that? That her P2 child is looking. So as she does it, she's earning, they are learning. That's a skill. Even if they went abroad, they are not going to do cheap jobs. They are not going to search for jobs everywhere. Because you can just be in the train abroad. All the time the phone falls, you tell this person, I can do that phone. But if you are at home, how it becomes a cottage industry is that you can do it at home. Just build the clientele, because everyone has a phone. You are tending to your garden, to your poultry, and then you can also earn from home.
No, Mr. Paul, apart from that, home industry mean, do you know soap can be made in the home?
Yes.
With your own brand, with your own
cottage,
brand.
yes.
Thank you very much. And pamper can be made in your own home, in one small room. Data cable, we can make it in our small room, like 6 by 8 feet room. The full, that's what they call home industry. At the same time, home industry, when it is planned, you know, it is not expensive, it's very cheap. It is just a matter to bring up on our youth a high quality confidence level. Me, I guarantee you, the weather, the agriculture sector, #1 country in this world is Uganda. What all that system will be built up, it will be we need to have access for internet every village on a fair price. Like I mention every time, go to the countries whom they have built the home industries or the skill in a youth. The internet price is $5 or $4 for per month. We Uganda, because internet can give you access for the website, for searching, whatever sector you have joined it. Without internet, you know, things are hard. We are holding $35 to $40 internet unlimited in this country with the low quality speed. The government must take action at least to provide in this country a minimum price, and having access to every district of this country will be a pleasure for us. It will really boost to join the skilling education in this country.
Well, very interesting. It is all about skilling, ICT, and having hands-on practicals for you to know that this is the problem, this is how I solve it, and the world is out there looking for problem solvers. If my phone is down, if my laptop is down, if my computer is down, if I just give you a phone call, can you come take it, bring it tomorrow when it's functioning? And this is what my guests in studios are doing, and they're doing it at no charge for youth, particularly the female gender here. They're targeting them to ensure they equip them. Ali feels we shouldn't have young girls leave our country to go and work as housemaids in some country if we can take advantage of a program like this. Now, Ali, you mentioned something to do with internet. We know that some areas of this country may not even be connected to the national grid, but also you mentioned of cost of internet. And you believe that we can use ICT to transform and create employment. So how best can we ensure that it's available, it is affordable? How have you been handling this?
No, actually, when we think about what is the big major effect to stop all that, it is the internet access on a fair price in this country. Not only in this country, in the African region. That blocks to learn, because now the technology cannot be learned without having social media access. Even you can have the classes from me or from Mr. Paul or from you, even from your own home when you are in Kabale. But when you can't afford, who can afford? You see, 300,000 shillings salary has been looked by the girl who finished the graduate from Makerere University. We need to finish up or control this sector when we have access to the internet on fairly price in this country and the high quality speed. Other countries, they have it. That is why, and secondly, we must boost up a confidence level to our girls. As I said it, 850,000 shillings salary which they look in United Arab Emirates, and they get a lot of problem. We don't deserve that. In 2024, we deserve better, because how foreigner comes to avail the opportunity in this country, from the weather, you will see, they have come after 2 years there, his lifestyle is changed. And he even built the home, at least not built. Why? We must produce our own manager. We must produce our own engineer. We can control the society. That's the small paragraph I'm talking everywhere in this corner. It will need only the skill with education. And skill does not need when you have high quality education. You can learn when you have not even gone to the school. How do you know what is my education? You can't judge it, because now I'm already polished. You might think I finished my master. You understand that? That's what they call progress of the skill.
Progress of the skill. Time seems to be flying. I just want to go to Paul now. Paul, we've been discussing ICT and more so having knowledge of how best these gadgets can be worked on as a way of creating employment for the youth. Now, our view, it is very important that we must accept that today a mobile phone, a smartphone, is something that a person cannot do without once they get it. I know many people, the moment they wake up, the first thing they look at is their mobile phone. Even before saying prayers, thanking the Lord for seeing them through the night, the first thing is someone gets up, checks their mobile phone. I know people, if a mobile phone doesn't have data or it has a problem, they have a problem their entire life until it is sorted and they will cool down. Now, we are saying this has availed us with very many opportunities because these gadgets wear out, these gadgets get spoiled, they get accidents, someone's phone is dropping, and we believe this is an area, if the youth specialize, they can get a lot of money. But the question now also comes in, that technologies keep changing. How have you ensured that these people you train keep up to the changing trends? Today, there is a smartphone. Tomorrow, who knows what kind of smartphone it's going to look like. Yet someone was trained using the previous technology. Is so evolving all the time.
Thank you for that question. Now, you realize, Misal is discussing about internet rates. The beauty about technology, ICT, is that wherever you are, if you feel you can't do something, if an iPhone 17 comes in and you can't handle, but it's what you've got and you're really going to get good money out of repairing it, you will make a call to GSM 5G and it will tell you go on the net. Use your data, go on the net, put the phone in front of you, open up that phone as we see it from where we are, and we tell you, now open this, pull out this wire, add this wire, then now we've seen the fault, we can send you the spare in one day, a bus somewhere, and you will handle your client very well. So it all comes to having cheaper data, cheaper internet for the people out there. Here we can afford it, but when you go on skilling youth and they're out there in the rural areas, they will need.
I beg your pardon, where can you afford it?
No, here in Kampala you can't try. It's faster and you can't try. It's expensive. Of course now, the other person working in the village, in the rural area, will have to input that money on the total.
Okay, yes, because
training them on like using the internet, so they upgrade. They don't need to go back to school for so much money. You can repair something even we reached here in this studio.
Well, I must let you gentlemen go, but I'll have a parting shot from each of you, beginning with Ali. Your last word as we leave the studios.
Gender must bring the confidence to our girls. They are the big part of this country. They are the one controlling the agriculture sector. We must take them as our boys, because now the world has gone to equal system. And we must boost our youth with education, education with skill. Every department is now belong to ICT, global service management. Must boost it. Internet price must be fair, like other part of the world. And we already have a very good education system in this country. 80% people are educated in this country. You know what is the meaning of education? When somebody can write and read properly. We are on right track. That day is not far away. Uganda will be like a mini Dubai. It's a matter of the system. That is it.
Okay, thank you so much, Raza, Ali. Now, Paul, let me just have your parting shot.
Parting shot is, thank you. Ugandans, yes, you can. You can do ICT. Everyone can. You have the minimum education. Even if you don't have it, you can Google into your language and then learn something and do it. We are skilling people who did P1 education here. But where they are consultants for phone repairs, laptop repairs, Because when they can't, when they don't know anything, they will ask us. So yes, you can, Ugandans. We can do it. We only need a policy that helps us. The curriculum has come where it is more practical, but we need real practical lessons, real practical. We need people to earn.
Well, I just want to thank you, gentlemen. That is Ali Raza, Director, GSM 5G, and Paul Mukasa, the Managing Operations Manager there. Thank you so much for your time, and of course our viewers. Well, remember that there is an opportunity if you can have the skills to repair, to work on these gadgets, because believe you me, there are increasing day by day on the market, and at a time they break down, at a time we have accidents with them, at a time you need to go and have that fixed or repaired. Now, if you have those skills, definitely you're answering to a problem, and being a solution, you're earning. See you in the next hour. God willing, sports next. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC. Was brought to you by
Can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundle. All networks could be Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000, or buy any daily voice bundle of your child. *100 *21# and select daily, or use the MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
In a hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, in our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 7 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With mass carry heritage advantage